In what was billed as one of the biggest regular season matchups of the year, the Buffalo Bills walked into Kansas City and walked out with a 28-21 victory over the Chiefs. But if you just glance at the score, you're missing the real story, because Buffalo didn't just win this game, they owned it. From start to finish, the Bills controlled the tempo, dictated the energy, and made the reigning AFC powerhouse look rattled on their own field. Josh Allen delivered a performance that screamed MVP-level confidence. 23 of 26, 273 yards, 3 total touchdowns, and 0 turnovers. That's efficiency, that's command, and that's leadership. The phrase, "we got 17, and they do not," feels more true than ever. Allen didn't have the flashiest stat line of his career, but he did what elite quarterbacks do, win big games. 2 goal line pushes for touchdowns, calm under pressure, and total control of the offense. And the Bills' defense? Ruthless. They harassed Patrick Mahomes all game long, forcing him below 50% on completions and keeping him without a single passing touchdown. Every time Mahomes dropped back, pressure was waiting, multiple sacks, tipped passes, disrupted timing, everything you'd want from a defense trying to prove it belongs among the NFL's best. Even the under-the-radar guys stepped up. Cole Bishop, after battling inconsistency early in the season, turned in one of his best games as a pro. Max Hairston, a rookie corner with something to prove, notched his first career interception, and it came at a huge moment. These are the kinds of contributions championship teams get when it matters most. There were tense moments, sure. Matt Prater missed what could have been a dagger field goal late, giving the Chiefs one last shot with 22 seconds left. And let's be honest, when Patrick Mahomes has the ball and the clock's ticking, every Bills fan in the world holds their breath. But the defense stood tall. They slammed the door shut, proving this team has both the talent and the toughness to close out the biggest games. Before we dive into the rest of the story, before listening to the latest news, subscribe to the channel, like it, and don't forget to press the bell icon. Let's move on to the new news. Buffalo's performance was the kind that makes a statement, not just to the Chiefs, but to the entire NFL. The offense looked balanced, the defense looked mean, and Josh Allen looked like a man on a mission. If the Bills can keep this level of focus and intensity, the rest of the league should be on high alert. The Buffalo Bills didn't just win against Kansas City, they reminded the league who they really are. Yes, the second half got a little shaky, but when it mattered most, Buffalo stood tall. Both sides of the ball delivered when they had to, and this game felt like more than just a win. It felt like a message, the Bills are back in business. After weeks of questions about consistency, this was the game where everything started to click again. The defense tightened up, the offense flowed, and the energy on that sideline looked like a team with Super Bowl intentions. The AFC race is crowded, but Buffalo's making noise, loud enough for the rest of the conference to hear. And at the center of it all, James Cook. The young running back continues to evolve into one of the Bills' most reliable weapons. Every time he touches the football, he makes something happen. He's not just hitting holes, he's creating them, slicing through defenses with vision and burst. On a critical 3rd and 3 late in the game, Cook made the play that should have sealed it, a smooth check down from Josh Allen that turned into a clutch first down. Those are the plays that define big-time players. When Cook gets even a small push from the offensive line, it feels automatic, 5, 6 yards, every time. The chemistry between him and fullback Reggie Gilliam, who's been paving the way with some brutal lead blocks, gives Buffalo's ground game real bite. Add Ty Johnson's short yardage power, punching in a score inside the 5, and suddenly, the Bills have a backfield rotation that's physical, explosive, and dangerous. That run game pressure opened up the passing attack, and that's where Dalton Kincaid took over. The Chiefs hadn't allowed a 100-yard receiver in 11 games, but Kincaid broke that streak with a statement performance, 6 catches, 100-plus yards, and a 23-yard touchdown to open the scoring. He was a nightmare for Kansas City's linebackers, creating mismatches on nearly every route. Kincaid's precision and separation are becoming the heartbeat of Buffalo's short-to-intermediate passing game, exactly what this offense needed to balance out Allen's deep ball aggression. For Kansas City, it was their first time since December 2023 allowing both a 100-yard rusher and a 100-yard receiver in the same game. For Buffalo, it was proof that when their offense is clicking, they can beat anyone, anywhere. The rhythm, the balance, the belief, it all feels like the Bills are finding their stride again right when the season is turning toward its most crucial stretch. The Bills didn't just get a win in Kansas City. They rediscovered their identity, physical football, smart execution, and trust in their playmakers. If this version of Buffalo stays consistent, the AFC might be staring at a familiar contender charging back into the spotlight. Even in victory, the Buffalo Bills know there's still room to grow, but that's what makes this win even more dangerous for the rest of the AFC. They didn't need perfection to beat Kansas City. They just needed poise, power, and playmakers who refused to back down. The passing attack had its ups and downs, but the Bills found ways to move the chains when it mattered. Elijah Moore came through with a beautiful deep grab that set up Buffalo's final touchdown, a moment that showed the trust Josh Allen has in his receivers, even when production isn't perfect. Khalil Shaker worked underneath with 7 catches for 43 yards, though the Chiefs eventually began to sniff out the short screens. Keon Coleman and Curtis Samuel were quiet, and Tyrell Shavers didn't record a catch, evidence that the wide receiver room is still searching for rhythm and identity. But that's where the tight ends saved the day. When this offense funnels through Dalton Kincaid, Dawson Knox, and Jackson Haw, it finds balance and efficiency. Knox made a strong return with a 30-yard grab that kept a drive alive, while Haw chipped in with an 18-yard reception off a scramble from Allen. When Buffalo plays through its tight ends, precise routes, smart spacing, sure hands, this offense looks unstoppable. And then there's the defense, the heartbeat of this team right now. Cole Bishop had himself a statement game. For pass breakups, relentless pursuit, and a tone-setting hit on Travis Kelce near the end zone that forced Kansas City to settle for 3 points instead of 7 before halftime. It was the kind of play that flips momentum, the kind that says, "Not in our house." Bishop looked like a different player, fast, confident, and fearless. This was his best game as a Buffalo Bill, and he picked the perfect opponent to deliver it against. The rookie Max Hairston continued to impress, too. His first career interception came on a deep shot from Mahomes to Xavier Worthy, and it wasn't a fluke, it was textbook coverage. Step for step, stride for stride, Hairston mirrored one of the league's fastest receivers and made him look ordinary. For a first-round pick, this was the kind of breakout performance that signals the Bills may have landed a long-term cornerstone in their secondary. So what does this all tell us? It tells us that the Buffalo Bills can beat Kansas City, not just in October, but when it matters most. The defense proved it can frustrate Mahomes. The offense proved it can move the ball creatively without relying on a single superstar. And the entire team proved it has the composure to finish a heavyweight fight. 30 years have passed since Buffalo last reached the Super Bowl. But if this version of the Bills keeps showing up, smart, physical, fearless, that drought may not last much longer. The Chiefs have been the standard. On this day, the Bills showed the football world they're capable of becoming the new one. This is exactly why the Buffalo Bills drafted Max Hairston, for moments like this. Against Kansas City, the rookie corner wasn't just good, he was dominant. Every time Xavier Worthy tried to stretch the field, Hairston was right there, step for step, suffocating space and killing rhythm. The Chiefs came in thinking they could test the rookie deep, they left realizing they couldn't. Hairston made life miserable for one of the league's fastest receivers, and he's only getting started. We saw glimpses of his potential in his debut against Carolina, where he made a textbook open field tackle. But this week, he took another leap, creating turnovers, flipping field position, and proving he's more than just a developmental piece. He's a playmaker. The Bills may have struck gold in the first round, because Hairston looks like the kind of corner who can anchor a defense for the next decade. But as good as the performance was, it wasn't all good news in Orchard Park. After all the highs of this win, the Bills were hit with a gut punch, a brutal injury to Michael Hoy. What was shaping up to be a breakout season for the veteran pass rusher took a heartbreaking turn when he went down with a torn Achilles. Head coach Sean McDermott confirmed it post-game, and the locker room felt it immediately. Hoy was quietly becoming one of the emotional leaders of this defense, a voice, a tone setter, and a relentless worker who'd injected life into Buffalo's pass rush. He had half a sack, a quarterback hit, and 2 tackles before the injury, continuing the disruptive play that had helped elevate the defensive front over the last few weeks. He even forced a fumble last game, showing that veteran spark that pushes great defenses over the edge. But the moment that truly defined Hoy wasn't a sack or a hit, it was what he did after the injury. When the cart came out, he waved it off. He didn't want to leave the field. He stayed on the sideline, on one leg, surrounded by teammates who came over to hug him, show love, and share that moment. That's heart. That's leadership. That's the kind of toughness that earns respect in Buffalo's locker room. Still, there's no sugarcoating it, this is a tough blow for a defensive front that was finally starting to look elite. With Ed Oliver also banged up, the Bills' depth is being tested. Young players like Landon Jackson, who's been a healthy scratch in recent weeks, could find themselves called upon soon. And depending on how severe the situation becomes, Buffalo's front office might even explore trade options before the deadline to shore up the defensive line. The Bills have weathered adversity before, and this will be another test of that resilience. The loss of Hoy stings, but if there's one thing this team has shown, it's that they rally around each other. The defense still has its heartbeat, and after watching what Hairston and Bishop did against Kansas City, it's clear the next generation of Buffalo defenders is ready to rise. This game gave Bills Mafia plenty to celebrate, and one tough reminder that the road to glory is never easy. But if this team keeps fighting the way it did in Arrowhead, there's every reason to believe they'll keep marching towards something special.